Emmanuel Moseley is one of the more improved players in the team. It seems like he gets better every year. Last year, they backed him off and had him playing kind of soft coverage after he had some penalties. This year, no. He's right up in Brandon Ayuk's face every day, and he hasn't given up a catch yet. He's broken up 3. He almost had a pick. Today, Lance fit one right over. It was a perfect throw. It was great coverage. Lance threw it right over Moseley. I had it turned around and caught it like this. Moseley knocked it out of his hands before he hit the ground. It was a great pass breakup. He's a really confident vet. How good do you think he can be?
He's good. I think when you look at really the tandem of the two guys, like that's exciting. I feel like he's been one of the, I don't want to say one of the better corners in the league, but it's like, man, this is a good starting NFL corner.
His numbers are really good.
And it would be nice to have him play at the line of scrimmage more. I thought that the 49ers, which was really weird, I thought they played really soft for corners that are more known to play more like press man. And even Emmanuel Moseley, like that, he played at the line of scrimmage at Tennessee. He wasn't doing all that off stuff. So, they back guys off, have them playing about 8 yards off. They're reading zone concepts and things like that, keep things in front of you. But I definitely felt like if he just challenged himself a little bit more at the line of scrimmage, he's a guy that can play with guys. I mean, we've seen him in his coverage of DK Metcalf at the line of scrimmage, breaking up slants, running go routes with him. I'm excited about what I've heard so far. And, I talked about how typically the defense is typically a step ahead to start training camp, like every team I've been on. But if you're talking about a man being pressed up outside and he's locking you down, well, he's just locking you down because he just feels like he's better than you. That's different, So that's something I'm definitely going to keep an eye on, that battle right there. And hopefully, in the process, it just makes Ayuk better. Because right now it sounds like a little struggling against the corners, the outside guys right now. I did hear that he was beating guys like Ambry Thomas stuff. So
he is, but that's sort of the issue that the offense is going through right now. Lance is going through right now. Pass protection isn't great, and the corners are shutting stuff down. Everything has to be over the middle. It's kind of interesting. With Moseley, I'd like to see him cover Debo because he's a good corner, but then I still can't forget Week 1, 2020 when they put him on DeAndre Hopkins. He
had 14 catches.
Yeah, something like that. So can you really match up with the best of the best? He's not right now. He's matching up with Ayuk, who's not.
There were some guys that were upset with that game plan, and I remember there's some veterans.
Robert
that
Sullivan
didn't care.
Put Moseley on him and line up 15 yards off the ball, and just why are you conceding all these catches? And
I got some DMs from. Got some DMs from a veteran that did not care about that game plan. Yeah.
I think I know who it was, but I'm not going to say it. But I feel it. Emmanuel Moseley, all I can say is I don't know how good he's going to do against DeAndre Hopkins this year. But against Brandon Ayuk, he's better than Brandon Ayuk. I'm sorry, Brandon. But Emmanuel Moseley's got you right now. And that sort of says how good of the corner. If he could just catch the ball when it hits him in the hands, he would be a Pro Bowler, I think. But right now, his man coverage is tight. And, yeah. Anyway. As opposed to Ambry Thomas. Ambry Thomas having a tough 2 days, man. Maybe he'll turn it on, but anytime the Niners need to make a quarterback look good, it's throw it Ambry. Sorry.
Does Trey Lance have the luxury to go against him? Because I know Sudfeld's
wearing him out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they got to get.
What about Castro Fields?
I haven't noticed him giving up. He's playing with the thirds. So what happens is it'll be 3-4 reps for the ones, 3-4 reps for the twos, and then 2 reps for the thirds. So I don't see him as much.
Yep. But I know how that is.
Sorry. I'll keep a closer eye on the third stringers for you and for people who care, because these guys are going to be in the practice squad. And he's a lot like Ambry in the sense that he's got all the physical gifts. It's just a question of what can he do at the catch point. That's my thing with Ambry. He reminds me of Chris Culliver. He's the athlete you want, but when the ball is there, what's going to happen? And Culliver was just confused. He couldn't find it. Yeah. You could find it.
Big you didn't run a Culliver was a big corner.
He was big. He was fast. He was a 4'3", 6-foot corner. You got in round 3. It's wow. It's like getting a Corvette used. It's wow, only 20,000. Yeah. Well, what's the problem with? You can't catch the ball. You can't find it. So I don't know. I know you intercepted a lot of passes. Not in the NFL.
Not in the NFL. Arena League, yes.
Matthew Sanders says, am I the only one who doubts Debo can reproduce last year's production? He was on an insane pace. All due respect, but regression to the mean, probably fair. Last year was unprecedented.
It's hard to repeat 1,400 yards and, another 300 rushing and 14 total touchdowns. But if you were to tell me he had 1,200 receiving yards, 7 receiving touchdowns, and 180 rushing yards, I would say, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. How's Demo looking? Haven't heard nothing about him. He's playing opposite Ambry Thomas and benefiting from playing opposite of Ambry Thomas, if you know what I mean. But I think he's doing better. He really seemed to lose confidence last year. Mo, thank you. You asked what's going on with Jordan Mason. He's playing with the third stringers right now, like Ty Davis Price, and he is a less fast version of Ty Davis Price. Ty Davis Price has explosion. He's fast. Jordan Mason built the same way. He's like a 4.6 instead of a 4.5, but he runs really freaking hard. Which again, Trey Sermon. Did you get the picture? Look at Jordan Mason. Look at Ty Davis Price. This is what they want you to do. And he does seem like he's in much better shape. So if he can run the way they want him to, he'll make the team.
Yeah.
One more. The coaches, I have a sneaky camp competition for Hasty, fellas. Jordan Mason, he's unreal in space and is actually an underrated pass catcher. You can get Hasty production with added size and physicality. Thoughts? Possible. Also, Trey Sermon has good hands too. So if they want to go like,
I haven't seen Mason at all. I couldn't even tell you what he looked like. So
Jordan,
maybe that's something I'll dive into tonight.
He played in like the Georgia Tech triple option where he was like the up back doing the dives and stuff. So
it reminds me of when Jeff Wilson was coming back, and it was like, I knew he was on the team. I saw a guy wearing number 41 at the time, I believe, when he first showed up, and I just didn't really pay much attention to him. And then all of a sudden, it's like, hey, practice squad, and the guy that could potentially come up. And once he actually got to play, I'm like, hey, I like this kid. He runs hard.
If the Niners cut JaMychal Hasty and try to get him on that practice squad, do you think he'll make it, or do you think someone will sign him?
I could see him potentially making it. I believe that if you lost him, you wouldn't care. But if you are able to add him to the practice squad, you like that it's a guy that's been around. And, I mean, they utilized him in key situations, third downs, being a pass catcher. I mean, hell, think of the NFC Championship game when Jimmy threw that behind-the-back no-look interception. He was throwing to JaMychal Hasty. So
he was. JaMychal Hasty reminds me a little bit of, remember Chris Thompson on Washington?
Yeah.
25. Shanahan's drafted him. He was supposed to be the change of pace back for Alfred Morris before they got fired. Anyway, I
remember him, the smaller pass catcher, and they had like Roy Halou.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Chris Thompson was good. I think Kyle likes him. I could be wrong, but if they can stash him on the practice squad, there's no reason to keep him. And I know they don't want to cut Trey Sermon after trading up in round 3 to get him and passing on offensive linemen who are now starting in the NFL.
Yeah.
Are there any more? There might be one last one. Big Tim 3 says, Grant, I know you got a job to do, but I don't care what you say. You still love the Niners, bruh. I grew up loving the Niners. What album covers are on your wall? They were my mom's albums. So I got them in honor of her. I got Prince 99. I got Morris Day. I got Rick James. I got Teddy Pendergrass, James Brown, Rick James again, Hall & Oates. Michael Jackson, but early Michael Jackson. Later Michael Jackson gets a little problematic. But I don't know. I don't know how you feel about his. Did you watch that? Anyway, we don't need to talk about Michael Jackson. Early Michael Jackson's cool with me, though. Croc, thanks a lot. I know it's later in Arkansas. I appreciate you coming on late. We usually do it.
All good. Thanks for having me on, bro.
What do you tell people what you got going on the rest of the week?
Oh, man. Almost finished with all the podcasts for the week. I was on Bleacher Report today talking 49ers. That was pretty cool.
That's tight.
That was cool. Yeah, that was cool. It was like live. It was on their website. It was on. My friends got notifications, and it was like Eric Crocker was live talking 49ers on Bleacher. They're like, "What the heck, Croc?" Like, so that was cool. I was nervous as hell at first. I was sweating and stuff. I don't know, my face real shiny, but yeah, it was cool though. It was cool.
Gabriel says, "How's the defense compared to 2019?" I think this secondary is the best secondary they've had in a while. It's really good. And if Rhett comes back, watch out.
Somebody asked me about that. I still heading into 2019. Or not 2019, excuse me. Heading into 2020, I was more comfortable with where this secondary was as opposed to this year, just as a whole. But again, this group definitely has the potential to be better than what that group was. But heading into the year, it's like, man, you got Witherspoon, he could be a starter. You got Emmanuel Moseley, he can start for sure. You
Right.
got Jason Verrett. You have Richard Sherman. He was coming off an All-Pro year. You got Tart. You got Ward. It was just like you got Shark, Kawhi Williams in the slot. It was like that heading into 2020. It was like I'm very comfortable with this group. It's really good, especially with this pass rush. But it just ended up being guys just were getting hurt left and right.